princesses! Today I'm going to be doing another East versus West review, and this time I'm going to be talking about brush cleansers. Brush cleansers just do not warrant their own review because I don't know how long I can talk about a brush cleanser, but I can definitely do a comparison. So I'm going to be talking about the Beauty Blender Beauty Cleanser versus the Daiso detergent for puff and sponge. And because the names are kind of long, I'm going to be calling this the Beauty Blender Cleanser versus the Daiso Cleanser. So for a little history on the cleansers, I've been using the Beauty Blender Cleanser for quite a while. Before that I was using like shampoo. So this is probably the first actual brush cleanser that I've ever used, but I've always been really curious about the Daiso cleanser because I hear a lot of really good things about it. It's ultra cheap, but it was a little bit hard for me to get because we do not have a Daiso in my city, so I either had to travel to a city with a Daiso or I actually found it on Sasa. So this was $1.80 in US dollars on Sasa, and this was $60 in New Zealand dollars, and I'll get into price breakdown at the end. So I'm going to start out with some product claims. Obviously both of them are makeup brush cleansers, so they claim to cleanse your makeup brushes. You can read the product descriptions in the down bar because the Beauty Blender one is quite long, but it basically claims that it's going to maintain the quality of your beauty blender, so it does really focus on beauty blenders in general. Whereas the Daiso one claims that one bottle can supply for around a half of a year, which is economical and effective. Both cleansers are packaged in squeeze tube bottles, which isn't actually very great for brush cleansing. The Beauty Blender Cleanser does come in a great pump style bottle when you purchase a smaller size, which wasn't available for me when I bought mine. The Beauty Blender Cleanser comes in different sizes, whereas the Daiso only comes in a little 80-gram bottle. In terms of their ingredients, I couldn't find a cohesive list of ingredients for the Daiso cleaner, which is very strange. It's pretty hard to compare the ingredients when you don't have a full list, so I'm not going to delve into it too much. As for performance, my initial thought about using both of these cleansers every other week is that the Beauty Blender Cleanser smells so much nicer, but the Daiso cleans puffs substantially better. I found that both of these products cleaned brushes exactly the same. I needed to use slightly more of the Beauty Blender Cleanser than the Daiso, and both cleansed my actual beauty blender the same. However, the Daiso cleans cushion puffs much better. I found that the Beauty Blender Cleanser left little patches of foundation on the cushion, whereas the Daiso always left them sparkly clean. This isn't very surprising to me since the Daiso specifically says for sponges and puffs. So if they do the same thing, let's quickly talk about the price. I'm going to be talking about the prices in New Zealand dollars because I live in New Zealand. So for the Beauty Blender, I bought a $60 bottle which contains 280 grams. So the Beauty Blender ends up costing 0.214 cents per gram. The Daiso cleanser, on the other hand, costs $2.60 and comes in an 80-gram bottle. This means it ends up costing 0.0325 cents per gram. So for the Beauty Blender Cleanser, you can buy this in different sizes. It smells like lavender, which is great, and it cleans brushes and sponges well, but not so much cushion puffs. It's also fairly expensive, whereas the Daiso only comes in one size, which is pretty small. It doesn't really have any scent. It cleans brushes, sponges, as well as cushion puffs really well, and it is incredibly inexpensive. So I've used the Beauty Blender Cleanser for quite some time, but I think from now on I'm probably just going to be buying the Daiso Cushion Puff Cleanser. And for all of you guys wondering how I store my cleansers, I use an Etude House bottle. It came free with something, and you press down the top the product pools on the top and then you can dip your brushes into that. So it's actually much easier to use than using those bottles, and I believe that the Beauty Blender Cleanser does come in this style of bottle when you buy a smaller version. I do enjoy using the Beauty Blender Cleanser, and it definitely smells so much nicer than the Daiso one, but it is more expensive, so I would prefer to buy something cheaper that also cleans my cushion puffs better too. So I think for me from now on, I'm just going to be buying 2 of these every time from Sasa, because I think it was $1.80 in US dollars or $2.60 in New Zealand dollars, which makes this incredibly inexpensive. It works really well. Don't think that it's just some sort of weird cheap Asian product. It really does do a very, very good job, and that's why so many people love it. So I'm going to be buying 2 of these each time and saving a substantial amount of money. I'm actually quite excited to be saving quite a bit of money on a brush cleanser, because a brush cleanser is not something that I want to DIY because I get acne. So DIYing something that is going to go on my face is just a really big invitation for extra acne, which I definitely do not want. So definitely a convert for the Daiso brush cleanser. Thank you so much for watching this review, and I'll see you next time.